Hello and welcome to what we've been waiting for it feels like a year at least now, Brian. The PS5 unveiling review. We both just watched it and we're gonna now break it down. I'd say let's just get right into it. How do you feel, bro?
I would say satisfied, but not overwhelmed or not blown away. Like, okay. I'm happy with what I saw, but I didn't think there was anything like mind blowing.
All right, and
so I'm content.
Excited?
Yeah,
you hyped 100%. Up?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to more, but I do have some grievances which we'll air as we go.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm hyped up. I'm very hyped up. And it might just be that we've been waiting for news for so long, but right now I feel good. I'm ready to drop some big money on this thing.
Oh yeah, me too.
Big money inbound. But yeah, let's get right into it. We just watched it. They did a live they did a live stream to show off the console and all the games on it. First of all, I was pretty, impressed by the number of viewers I saw, at least on the stream I was watching on YouTube. Had about 2 million viewers, which is pretty good, I'd say,
Yeah, there was like a lot even in the pre-show thing that I kept waiting in the YouTube waiting room and stuff. There was definitely a lot of anticipation.
That's not going to factor in people watching on Twitch, people watching on other YouTube channels, people watching on your PS4, which I guess you could do. So yeah, good stuff. I think just in initial impressions, this came out looking way more impressive than what Xbox has shown so far. I know I have a little bit of a Sony bias, but I just feel like they presented it in a way that's way more exciting, and I really dug that theme that they pulled out of we believe, and they've been saying this, like, we believe in console generations, we believe in big step forwards. So they're really drawing a line in the sand, with Xbox saying that all their first-party games are going to run on Xbox One for at least the first year or something like that. You can definitely see kind of the different styles are starting to take shape, and we're going to see how well that works out for each side. But I'm definitely a big fan of the way PlayStation's going, where, they're stressing that we want it to feel like the next generation. We want it to feel like this is what you've been waiting for, as opposed to just a small incremental step forward. We don't know if they're going to be able to deliver on that, but
yeah, I do love that what you're saying, that it's like an event, and I'm always going to be a Sony guy at heart, but I do think it's fair to stay tuned for Xbox's event that's upcoming, because they haven't showcased any of their first party stuff yet. So there's still a chance for them to even the playing field. But right now, I think Sony's definitely winning the lead up. Winning the lead up as they did with PS4.
Definitely. I think it justified the silence that they've had, whereas Xbox has kind of been talking for a little while. I think it's nice to just start with a bang, kind of. I know they've shown some stuff with the DualSense and that kind of thing, but I'd say, without further ado, let's get right into... We're going to go right through everything they revealed and kind of give our own impressions on it. So, they started off with GTA 5, which...
Well, so... After the thing starts, the whole stream starts, and it has this hype montage, and you're getting real ready for the stream, right?
Oh yeah, let's get into
anticipation is building, and then it cuts to the Rockstar logo, and my heart dropped.
Oh my god,
what is this? But then immediately you hear Michael saying his shtick, fake fucking Tony Soprano, and then I was like, all right, it's GTA again. But so I love GTA 5. It's one of the best games of the last generation. But here's where, immediately right off the bat, my main concern with this conference is just like confused messaging. Like, what is this? And like, do you have to pay for it? Is it a new game, or is it just support for your PS4 edition of this game? Is there new single player content? Because it kind of looked like there was.
I don't think so.
It looked like there was like new characters in the cutscenes.
That was all GTA Online stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So is it just the same game? Like, what's expanded about it?
Oh, I think it's just going to be runs better, and maybe the online's going to have some new additions. Like it's constantly getting updated. I think it's mostly, the messaging is mostly just for the GTA Online will be for PS Plus subscribers.
Do you think the expansions, or let's just assume it's just a higher frame rate and a higher resolution. Mm-hmm. So do you think that is just you put your PS4 version of the game into your PS5 and it does that? Because they did say that certain games would have that kind of like in-house boosting. Or is this a PS5 version of this game, which will be like the new Skyrim, where they just released this game a billion times?
That's a good question. I think that if you own it, they're probably not going to make you pay for it again. But I could see them selling. I could see it.
Online's free.
I could see it being sold for like 15, 20, $30 digitally or something on the store.
And I think it said coming 2021. I might be wrong. I don't even think it was 2020.
It is 2021, yes.
Which is really weird. What does that even mean if it's backwards compatible? That's what led me to believe there might be added content.
Right. That is true, that it's kind of... So maybe they'll enhance it more than we think, but I just don't see them really going
I think
back
that would
to
be
it.
a smart play if they did like a Ballad of Gay Tony situation.
That'd be awesome.
And added single-player stuff, but not like a significant amount. But, 15 hours, 10 hours, that'd be a good play.
Yeah,
we'll see, though.
I don't think they're doing it.
It's just me holding on to any ounce of Rockstar single-player content I can dream about.
Yeah. Well, up next, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So there's a new Spider-Man game. It's coming holiday 2020. And, Brian, I don't know if this... I can't imagine this is a full game. I think it's more like a half step, and it's more like a infamous First Light situation where they take the existing map and the existing game and they just kind of restyle it with a new protagonist. What do you think?
I think this is another piece of it where I'm like, what is this? And is it a launch game? Is it only on PS5? But first, before I get into that, the PlayStation Studios logo, fire.
Yeah.
So seeing that is like, what a brilliant piece of marketing to really like brand their products in a way that makes it feel like a collection, really understandable for what are these exclusives. But yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be in the vein of something like First Light, but it has to be a little bigger, I'd imagine, because First Light is like
I think so too. That's just
6 hours. I feel like it's probably the same length as the first Spider-Man, but
I don't know.
Just the same map. Like I feel like it's just going to be that again with Miles Morales and a new story would be my guess. Maybe it'll even have the original packed in with it or something. Because if it's a launch game, it has to have some. It can't just be like a $40 DLC.
Right.
We'll see. It's definitely not a full-fledged sequel with I don't think there will be any improved systems or side missions. I think best case scenario, it's this again. It's 2018 Spider-Man again with Miles Morales and a new story that length.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it's a fraction of the time of that. But that was a hell of a way to kick it off. I think that was a very baller move. Great launch title in theory, but we'll have to hear more.
I'm surprised they started with that, with GTA 5 instead of that, because I thought that was a little bit more of a punch, but that's just me, I guess.
Yeah, this I think they almost showed too early, because it was like really like when this happened, I was like, this is going to be insane, and it turns out there weren't really that many surprises, but so I do think this was a strange placement for this game specifically, because no one really was predicting that. It's obviously not a surprise that Insomniac was working on another Spider-Man, but I feel like the predictions were more in line with like Ratchet and Clank and Horizon, which obviously we saw.
Right. Yeah, but holiday 2020, so I'm assuming that means at launch.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I don't see any other reason to, because they didn't call anything they didn't say available at launch. They only said holiday 2020 at the earliest. So I think that's a safe bet that it's coming out with the PS5. But yeah, I'm wondering what's going on at Insomniac. So one team is making Ratchet and Clank, which we'll get to. So is this the Spider-Man team? And it doesn't seem like a full-fledged new game. So I'm wondering, when are we going to see a new game with new features and a more expanded?
I think it's possible that this is this is the sequel. I don't think it's likely, but I think it is possible, because like we've discussed ad nauseum off of the air, the first Spider-Man sets a great groundwork for something more. So it's like everything they needed is there. So I do think it could be a full-length game. Whether or not it's going to be a very deep game is totally up in the air. But in terms of, they could literally just reskin it with Miles and have a new story, and that's a full-length game, and people would love it.
Right. No, yeah, it'd be
as
great.
long as the story is good.
I wouldn't complain.
I mean, I'm going to buy it regardless.
Of course,
so.
yeah. I'm just like wondering, because we were talking about this even before this was announced, how, like you said, Spider-Man 2018 was a good base, but I do want to see the systems and the gameplay get a little bit deeper and more developed. So I don't see them doing it in this short of a turnaround time. Which kind of makes me like, if this is the full sequel, we're getting kind of just, like a Saints Row 4 to Saints Row 3, where it was like basically a DLC that they just expanded into a game.
But that's not always bad.
Not
if you
always.
Look at Uncharted Lost Legacy is amazing, so I'm optimistic. I just want to hear more. Like, I was looking after this if they'd put out any press releases explaining some more, then it didn't seem like they had yet.
Right.
So, but this is, still very fresh.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm very excited. Great announcement.
All right, up next, we got a glimpse at Gran Turismo 7. Brian, you want to take it away here? Anything of note for you?
No, I mean, these always sell really well. They're a big hit. I just personally, racing and car games, not for me, so I have no interest in this, but there's always one of these. People love them. I'm sure it's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really have any expertise on the topic. It looked pretty boring to me as a a simpleton in the world of racing, but
it doesn't do much for me, but it's always, like you said, these always come out, and it's usually a good way to kind of see the graphics and what's changed graphically speaking. So there's that. But yeah, Polyphony Digital, not really a shock and not really anything that interests me, but
I don't think there was a release date for this either, was there?
To be announced. Yeah, no.
Like, that seems like a shoe-in launch thing.
Right. Weird. Well, up next, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I love that name. This is Insomniac Games. It's presumably a sequel to the 2016 Ratchet and Clank game. And this was pretty much a shoo-in. I think this has been rumored for a while. But I'm pretty excited for this. How about you?
Oh, it was joyous to see this. Like, I know it's been rumored, but it was never to me rumored in a way that felt so concrete that it was coming. And it just looks so good. I love this series. I love all those mascot platformers from back in the day. That's what I grew up on. And I really liked the 2016 Ratchet & Clank, but it was a remake of the original, and it's great to see Insomniac have a full sequel finally. It's been so long since they've really had a full-fledged Ratchet & Clank game. And it looks awesome. The whole dimensional switching and the speed that everything is moving. The graphics look amazing. Honestly, at a certain point when all the dimensions was switching for a second, I thought it was going to cross over into Jak and Daxter. I don't know why.
No, I thought that, yeah.
Yeah, like when Clank is separated and he looks up, I was like, no
I thought it was going to be Sly. I thought they were going to make a mascot, like a combined mascot game for a second.
If it was Sly, I would no longer be here to record.
Yeah, you would have
passed away on the spot.
Turned into mist and just evaporated.
I would have taken Jak and Daxter, though. That would have been cool.
That would have been
This
sick.
looks awesome. It looks so cool. I can't wait, but also, when is it coming out?
Yep, we don't know.
All the rumors were that this was going to be a launch title, and it didn't even say 2021.
Maybe
that's what's weird about it.
Maybe they prioritize the Miles Morales game over this.
It would be a smart play, sales-wise.
Totally.
But also, I do think coronavirus probably had a significant amount to do with a lot of these games.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
So there's probably several of these that were slated for launch and had to get pushed back, which is unfortunate, but understandable.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all by that, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the double entendre titles that all their games have, or most of their games have. Rift Apart is really, really good. I saw it pop up for a second. I was like, okay, what's like the joke here? And then I just said it out loud, and good stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Well, some of them are a lot more like in your face than that.
Right. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. That's one of the highlights of the show for me.
That'll be a good mascot, a good like kids game to advertise. Not that it's only for kids, but a good game to advertise for families picking up.
It's awesome that that series is still going on. It really is. Decades, or like over a decade.
We're gonna get into this more later, but I think they did a good job showing off different types of games as opposed to kind of what they've become known for with their first party lineup is kind of the grittier, third person, realistic, over the shoulder gameplay.
Yeah, not much of that at all.
No,
in general,
it looked like they were kind of going for a new aesthetic, and I liked that they're in a lot of these games they're not going for hyper realism, because I think that's more of the same after this generation. I think PS4 kind of showed us that a lot, which is good in some things, but I also do like seeing the return of stylistic aesthetic design where everything is based around, a color palette and, just more of that retro game design kind of incorporated into a modern sense. I thought that was, I saw that in a few different games that they showed off.
Yeah, I think there was a surprising amount of platformers.
Yeah.
Way more than I ever would have expected at something like this.
Right. But yeah.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
That's right. That'll probably be a sound clip.
Good. That's the intention.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Well, the next thing they showed, which to me just screamed deep down of this generation, it's called Project Athia, and that doesn't sound like a real title, and it's a PS5 exclusive Square Enix fantasy game. It was a quick trailer. It looks cool, but nothing really detailed about it. And it just really reminded me of Deep Down, which, for those not aware, was this fantasy trailer during the PS4 launch from Capcom, I think, that just never came out. So yeah, this just seemed like that totally carrying the tradition forward.
Maybe it's recycled material from the game. Who knows? But yeah, I had the same feeling when I saw it. That's really funny. But yeah, not too much on that. No release date, anything like that. So let's go to the next one.
Yeah, this is where we got into the weird section of the show.
Yeah. All right, Stray.
It's coming in 2021, published by Annapurna, who had a surprising presence here. They were a movie production studio, which I don't think they still make movies, but they might. But they kind of broke into games a while, maybe 5-6 years ago, and they've put out a lot of good smaller games like Outer Wilds and Edith Finch. So they definitely have an eye for more artistic and cinematic games, smaller games. I don't know what in the world this is about. I think you play as a cat.
It looks awesome, whatever it is. I'm all in.
There was a robot barber.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It looks like a really cool world that's just a unique looking world. Kind of like, it looks like post-humans. Like I saw R.I.P. humans on the wall or something like that. I don't know. It looks like I just like to see stuff like that. Stuff that is clearly a unified and very unique vision that they're going to take and make this. Like Edith Finch was a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it's cool to see Sony spotlight games like this that normally would not have, 5 million people watching it or whatever.
I wonder if this is part of, they're kind of in the know with Sony, but Shuhei Yoshida was kind of moved over to manage and develop like upcoming indie games and that kind of thing. So I wonder if this is part of that.
I would imagine a decent amount of these. There were some of these smaller ones that had the PlayStation Studios logo, if I'm not mistaken, but I just don't know off the top of my head which ones they were, because it was like a rapid fire. There was so much content, it was kind of hard to keep track.
Right. Well, let's move on to the next one. All right, so this is a Housemarque game, which I'm pretty excited about. This looks pretty cool. It's called Returnal. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a PS5 exclusive. It looks like by far the biggest thing Housemarque's ever done.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see them teaming back up with Sony. Resogun was one of my favorite games of the generation.
What a far cry this is from Resogun.
It looks like pretty AAA, honestly. It was weird to see that this seemed to be about dying and looping, and then there's another game about that by Arcane that we'll talk about later.
They both remind me of Outer Wilds, which has a very similar type of gameplay where you're playing on a time loop like Groundhog Day.
Did Sony buy Housemarque?
No, I don't think so. I thought their relationship was actually
I remember it being like
it was after Resogun, I think. Okay, so when Resogun released, Housemarque actually hired for their own marketing, I believe, which is kind of something that would indicate that they weren't happy with Sony's, publisher relationship. But yeah, this looks cool. It reminded me of Alien a little bit.
Yeah, and a little freaky, kind of like Metroid-y. Alone on a planet.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not sure how interested I would be if the name Housemarque wasn't on it.
Right.
And I do think this was the PlayStation Studios one, so I think it is branded under that.
This has PlayStation Studios.
But I think Housemarque's an extremely talented studio, and I'm very interested to see what they would and could do with a big budget.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll... you know what the character kind of looked like? Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I could see it.
I wonder... I don't think she's like mocap.
No, I don't think it was her.
Kinda,
I think they would have advertised that.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, up next. Sumo Digital presents Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I'm actually pretty excited for this. It doesn't have a release date, but like you, I'm always interested in some nice, easy on the eye platformers, and I liked the original Little Big Planet. I think it's really funny because I think this game is going to blow Dreams out of the water. like slaughter Dreams 5-1 at least sales wise. What do you think?
Oh, sales wise, yeah, of course. I'm a little concerned about the quality in general because I don't really think Sumo Digital did Little Big Planet 3, which wasn't like terrible, but it was not great. But this was a big surprise to me. It was a very pleasant surprise. I did not expect to see Little Big Planet in any capacity. And it's an interesting concept to take Sackboy out of Little Big Planet and make him his own franchise. Because this isn't Little Big Planet. You're not making levels, I don't think. I think this is just a traditional platformer with Sackboy, which I think is a really smart idea because he's a super cute, super memorable, iconic little thing you can put on the console box.
Dude,
people know what he is. I have a little Sackboy on my desk. It's an easily marketable thing, and I think he could lead a franchise outside of Little Big Planet, and that's a really clever idea, I think.
I totally agree. That's what I noticed the most about this was the name is Sackboy. I really think that's such a smart idea because he was so iconic in the PS3 generation and early PS4, and they haven't really had a mascot like that since because most of their, first-party games are all
gritty humans.
Yeah, gritty humans. So this is, I always wanted to see him return, and I think this is ideal that he's not tied to the Little Big Planet name, which is a little clunky and not really indicative of, Sackboy, just like calling a Mario game Mario. It's like very, here's the character, it's a platformer, he's a cute little guy, buy this for your kid. I'm pretty excited for this. Looks great.
Yeah, hopefully Sumo Digital just kind of figured out the landscape of platforming a little better, and it's not that I didn't like Little Big Planet 3, but it definitely had more glaring flaws than 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely optimistic about this.
Did Sumo Digital did they release anything in between Sackboy and Little Big Planet 3?
That's a good question. Let's see.
I'm not too sure about them.
I think they did, but it wasn't Sony stuff. They're not a
They're second party.
Yeah. Yeah, they've worked on a ton of stuff here. Hitman, Forza, Crackdown. So it looks like they're playing both sides. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, which
so
were they behind Crackdown 3?
Mm-hmm. Oh. I don't know if they were the main.
Okay.
I don't think they were the main. Let's see. No, yeah.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Yeah. Well, so my excitement has been diminished, but nevertheless, I'm happy to see that Sackboy is returning in a big way. They're putting his name on the game this time, so I'm happy to see that. Up next, this is a game by Lucid, who I'm not familiar with their work at all, but the game is called Destruction All-Stars. It looks kind of like
Rocket League.
It looks like Rocket League meets Twisted Metal or something. It's like a car battler, maybe a battle royale type game. I think it's pretty wise for Sony to have some multiplayer games. I don't think this is going to be first or exclusive or anything, but I think they did kind of need to have some kind of game like this in their library at launch, where it's kind of just a flashy multiplayer game they can show off. I think it looks pretty fun. I don't know if I liked the aesthetic too much. It was a little X Gamesy, edgy, like ooh,
Monster Energy.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, all right, okay, didn't we leave this back in 2006? This I'm the Joker. I'm really cool. I don't know, but I think it looks like the gameplay looks like pretty fun, albeit probably pretty simple. It doesn't look very super in depth. But I don't know. I think it could be fun.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that just kind of in one ear out the other. Like, it looks interesting in some capacity, but I'm ready to see the next thing by the end of it.
Yeah, totally.
And the next there's one more before the really interesting one, but the next one looked cute. Wasn't that the one that was by
Ember
Brothers?
Yeah. So this is called Kena Bridge of Spirits, and I want to see more of this game. I thought it was pretty interesting. Cool. Yeah. So we got a trailer of the thing it reminded me most of by a long shot was Breath of the Wild. It's a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more cell shady, but I thought it definitely was inspired by Breath of the Wild. And I noticed a couple different games on this list we're starting to see, that game came out in 2017. We're starting to see games that are more inspired by it now that dev time has kind of come forward. And I think this is looks awesome. I'm really excited for it. You play as some boy, it looks like, with a spear, and the spear is kind of magical and can turn into a bow and stuff like that. I like just in general, when games give you one mechanic that can also accomplish several different things, where, you know what I'm saying? What's a good example?
Yeah.
Like the portal gun or something like that. Like it has multiple functions. It revolves around, or like Kratos' axe from God of War. So I don't know. I think it looks good. I don't think it looks like a AAA game, but
yeah, I don't think it is.
I would definitely
they even described themselves as a very small studio.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. I'm all in just for more Breath of the Wild inspired open air games. Yeah.
Yeah, but the real winner of the show is the next game.
Yeah.
What in the world is this?
Goodbye, Volcano High.
See, this is the type of thing that just this does not. What is this doing here? Like, it doesn't. What is this? It looked like a TV show. Like, they didn't show any indication of what kind of game it was. Did you get any?
No, maybe like a visual novel, but no idea.
This is the type of thing I don't think belongs in a. It's cool that they're giving it a spotlight, but it's just like I got no information on what it was. Like, it looked interesting, but I was like, this seemed like a state of play thing to me.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, like you said, it looks cool, but it's not exactly what you picture the launch of a console, being on, a game like this.
Well, it's not even coming at launch either. It's
no, 2021. But I'm just in the console reveal, you don't really picture this coming up. And it almost makes me think, along with a couple other things on this, that maybe there was another bigger game planned, and because of coronavirus, it had to be pushed back and they didn't want to show it or something.
And so they filled it with some of
it feels like there's just
ones.
like maybe 10 minutes worth of filler in here that could have waited.
Yeah, that could have been a little tighter, I think. But it is cool that these games get to shine, though. Like that, there's nothing bad about that.
Yeah,
because we got enough of the stuff that people want, that I think in general most viewers will be satisfied. So it's like, what's the harm in it, I guess. But it was very jarring. I was like, what is this? It kind of looked like BoJack Horseman or something, which is a terrific show.
Yeah, well, up next, Oddworld Soulstorm, coming from Oddworld Inhabitants. I don't know if this is the studio that did the original Oddworld games. I'm not too familiar with that franchise at all.
Yeah, I don't know anything about. I just know the name, and the character's name is Abe.
Right, that's Abe's Odyssey, whatever.
I don't even know what genre it is.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with this at all, but I know it's an older franchise, so I think it's cool to see it come back. Was that originally a PlayStation exclusive? Was there one this generation?
I think so, or at least it's not like it hasn't been dead to my knowledge.
I thought it was dead. I thought it was a dead game.
I mean,
there was one on the Wii U.
Is called Oddworld Inhabitants.
Okay.
Oh well, I mean the Wii U's not that far away. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Maybe there hasn't been one since Wii U, but I think they're. Let me look it up.
No, I'm looking it up right now. The last one was on Wii U, PlayStation 3. I don't think there was one on PS4. And the original one was a 1997 game, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey.
No, they're new and tasty. It was on PlayStation 4.
Oh, really? Oh, well, Wikipedia failed me. Or the Google thing failed me.
But it was also on the Wii U and PS3 and.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's see.
So I think it's the same version you're talking about, but it was ported to PS4.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
It says PS4 in 2014.
All right.
So it's been a while, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Cool.
I don't know what these are though.
Yeah, we might as well. All right. Video game franchise.
Yeah, do some educating.
Why can I not find like just what the type of game is? Like usually that's like the first sentence of a Wikipedia is like, oh, this is a blank game.
Maybe they don't know.
This
Maybe
is quite
evolving.
the hole in our knowledge, Richie. I think like, I think we usually can at least say the genre of most games that come up on here. I'm a little concerned that we have this gap in our knowledge.
Hey, at least we know who Abe is.
Yeah, exactly. I knew like right away what this franchise was, but I couldn't tell you. Okay, it's a platform action adventure.
The new one didn't really. The new one
It
looks
looks
like some sort of.
It looks kind of like Donkey Kong
survival
Country to me.
thing.
I saw like a little bit of platforming stuff, but yeah, it did look like there was like a horde chasing you at all times. I don't know. If
It
that's...
looked like kind of sketchy.
It didn't look very good
know.
in my opinion, but
I've never really had any interest in these, but
yeah,
might just be an aesthetic thing.
maybe. But yeah,
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, up next, Ghostwire Tokyo by Tango Gameworks, coming 2021. This is a game that we saw first revealed at E3 last year.
Bethesda's showcase.
Yeah. What did you?
Very enthusiastic presenter.
Yeah. Oh, she was great. Well, I miss her. I don't think she works for Tango Gameworks anymore.
Really? That's a shame.
Yeah, because she was iconic for that. Like
That was a great time.
well,
Very passionate.
Yeah, we'll put the sound clip in here.
We are making a new kind of action-adventure game. It's spooky. But not the survival horror game.
She's great.
That we are not
Wish her the best. Friend of the show. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, indeed.
Yeah. So, what did you think of
This
this?
looks cool.
Yeah.
This doesn't look at all what I thought it would look like. First person was the first thing that kind of took a step back because I think this is the debut of gameplay, right?
I think
I think
so.
the
yeah.
last time they showed it was just a CGI trailer. I was under the impression it was going to be a lot more like the Evil Within because it's the same developer, like a third-person survival horror. But it looks more like a first-person action horror. Looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks spooky.
I love horror games, so I'm in.
Yeah, I'm interested. Not coming right away, but 2021. So we will. I'm sure way more of these were definitely going to be holiday
This
2020
launch window.
Yeah, but what can you do? But yeah, it looks cool. I'm sure we'll see more coming out from that later. All right, up next, Jet: The Far Shore by Super Brothers and Pine Scented, coming holiday 2020. I'm gonna need a refresher on this. I'm gonna Google this one.
I don't know what it was. I think it might have been like a civilization.
Oh, yeah,
type of
yeah.
deal. It seemed like you were evolving it. Some of these, I think, if you're not gonna do a demo, it might be a better idea to just put it on the PlayStation blog with like an explanation. But
Yeah.
it looked cool, like the style of it. But I just was not sure what it was.
Yeah, so I have an article pulled up, and it looks like, no one really knows what this is. There's not really any gameplay, like, specifics outlined, but it does look like some kind of simulation, civilization type game, or space exploration, which I can never get enough of these. I'm always searching for this kind of thing, and that began with Spore. Actually, it probably began with, like, even earlier games like Age of Mythology and stuff, where I just want a game where you take a civilization, like, all the way, you just kind of watch them evolve. It's more like an ant farm, where you don't really, if you play, it's only in very, like, nebulous ways, where, like a God game type of thing. I'm a big fan of God games. There's not a lot of those, so it's kind of hard to even describe what I picture, but hopefully this could scratch that itch. I don't know enough about it yet, but aesthetically it looked really cool, and that's really all we can say right now.
Yeah.
But looking forward to seeing more on that for sure. I don't know if I like the name Jet: The Far Shore at all, but I do know that I affirmatively do not like that name.
I just had in my notes. I just had the Far Shore, so I didn't even get Jet out of it.
Yeah.
Somehow missed that.
No, yeah, because when it came up in letters, it was like in this weird stylistic way, and I was like squinting, trying to like, is that a T? Jet? Like, what is that? Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. I love space. So
All right, up next, we got our first look at Godfall, which was teased out at the Game Awards, right?
Yes.
Not into this.
Woo, I am not into this.
I'm not a fan of this persistent looter online thing. Obviously, they're big and people really like them, but for me, I'm way too ADD, and I prefer single-player games in general, but I just like to switch around. I like to bounce between genres and platforms. I don't want to just stay on these things that are designed to make you.
They're designed to be
just
jobs.
play for years and years and years. Not for me.
And as far as those types of games go, this doesn't look particularly good. It looks very, very almost mobile gamey. The way it's like these things were popping up. It's like, oh, get new armor, master your weapons, and the gameplay it would cut to did not look very enticing to me.
Like knockoff Dark Souls or something.
Yeah, it looked like inspired by Dark Souls, but yeah, anything that's like inherently, it's not going to be very skill based if it's based off of your upgrading your loot and stuff. So,
and I think this was a timed exclusive for PS5.
Okay,
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Not for me.
I do have this game drafted in our
our
fantasy draft. So hopefully,
you do?
Yeah,
That's a shame.
Hopefully it gets like a 99 Metacritic, but
And I could see it scoring well. I just don't think it's going to be anything I'm interested in.
I don't even know if it'll score well. It really looks like AA to me. It doesn't. I don't know.
I think it is.
I mean, it doesn't look like.
Oh no, it's Gearbox, right?
Yeah, it's Gearbox. Counterplay Games and Gearbox, so probably mostly Counterplay Games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think this is the one I was softest on, aside from
Really?
Volcano High, which
I liked
Volcano High didn't
more
look
than this.
bad though. It's
just weird.
Yeah, I just didn't know what it was. This was like, I know what this is, and I'm not interested really.
Yeah.
But who knows? I
Same.
could change my mind if we see more.
Yeah. Got to stay open-minded. But first impression, not positive.
Yeah, definitely not. All right, up next, Solar Ash by Heart Machine, coming 2021.
Another Annapurna published game, worth noting, I think.
Yeah.
They had some rather significant presence here with two titles. It looks cool.
Yeah, did you ever play Hyperlight Drifter?
No, I haven't. Yeah, it's the same devs. I really liked the way this looked, though. You played that, right?
No, I never played that. That's one that I...
What's the one you played that you really liked? The spaceship one. Faster Than Light or something?
Oh, Faster Than Light. Yeah, those are like totally different types of games, but...
They both have light in the title, so
you're
can't
right.
convince me.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, this looks awesome. Very cool aesthetic, just like Hyperlight Drifter, which I do have to play at some point before this comes out. Yeah, I think this could be pretty good. Do you have any other thoughts on this? It kind of was just like, I was like, oh, it's another Hyperlight, whatever, I'll get to it.
No, it looks cool. It's one it didn't stick out to me, but I'll keep an eye out for it.
Right. All right, up next, coming from IO Interactive in January. This might be the only specific date that we have, an actual month. I think it's the only one that came out with a month on it. January 2021, Hitman 3. I'm pretty excited for this. The Hitman games are awesome, and I think it'll probably be even better on the next gen. Hopefully it has an actual functioning trophy system this time.
I think this was a pretty big surprise. I didn't expect this at all. But I doubt this is just a next gen thing, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get it. I think these are cool games, but they're not my style.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever tried them?
Oh, I have. I've played multiple of them actually.
Any of the new ones though that came out, like
I think I've played
rebooted
the past
Hitman?
like 3.
Okay.
I played one on the PS3, maybe even 2. They're just I think the premise of them is cool, but I just didn't jive with it, I guess. I don't know.
I wasn't interested in them until I played the 2016 one, which I thought was excellent.
I'm also very bad at stealth. No, I know they're supposed to be great. It's
Yeah.
just I don't think.
Yeah,
for
that's
me particularly.
I thought for sure you would like that type of game. I think this. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the cast, but this series needed to have really good trophies. I gotta just vouch for trophies sometimes and say if any series would have benefited from replay value and a metagame and trying to do things in certain challenging ways that you might not do normally, it's these games, because there are so many ways you can approach an assassination, and it's so fun. It's super fun. It's definitely the best of that genre of like kill this person and get out type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The only stealth games that I really like are Metal Gear, but I like them for the story and the boss battles, not the stealth. So I'm so bad at stealth, it's just frustrating.
Pretty excited for that, but we'll see more of it soon, I'm sure. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, so this was another surprise, and
Yeah.
again with the confusing messaging, was Astro's Playroom by Sony Studio Japan, and this is a sequel to Astrobot Rescue Mission, which was a VR title that was supposed to be amazing. I didn't play it because I don't have PlayStation VR, and I'm assuming this is not a VR game because I think they would have said that. I'm imagining they saw the positive reception and are putting this as a spin-off title.
I would
That's
think
what
so.
I got from it.
I think they're going to have a separate VR, showcase or something. So if this was going to be VR, they would have saved it for that.
This looks really cool, though. I'm all in on these mascot platformers.
Yeah.
I think this is a very smart move if it is indeed taking this mascot that got positive reception and giving him his full game outside of just the VR mode. Very interested. Definitely keeping an eye on. Sony Studio Japan has done some really great work, obviously.
Definitely. One thing, does Astro or Astrobot, whatever the name is, does he kind of look like the PS5 to you?
I mean,
Like he looks kind of like the controller at least.
Maybe
maybe
he is. Maybe when you buy it, it turns into that.
Maybe. I mean,
and
who
the
knows?
playroom that the title refers to is the room that you're in with it when he turns into Astro and he takes over your life.
I don't like that. He looks also like Eve from WALL-E.
Yeah, I see that more. Great movie.
So up next, we have Little Devil Inside. What do you think of this one, Bri?
I think it looks really cool. Again, I think I'm kind of confused about what it is, but it looks like it was funny, and I liked the art style. Definitely interested to keep an eye out for it. But
Yeah, I loved this one. I'm really actually pretty excited for this. I don't know. I like you. I love the aesthetic and stuff. I think it
looked very charming.
Yeah, who's the developer on this again? Let me see.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
NeoStream. Does that ring a bell to you? NeoStream? I don't know anything else they've done. But
do a quick Google.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It's described online as a action adventure survival game. I think it's like one of the standouts of the showcase, in my opinion, other than the obvious contenders, the first party contenders.
I guess this has been out for a while, or like it's been announced for a while in various development states for a few years. So
yeah,
it seems like this is the only game they've made.
Okay,
it has a Kickstarter.
Dude, I think it looks awesome. I think it's like this crazy, like mesh of like almost Bloodborne, aesthetic with this very goofy, like lighthearted, almost like Pixar look.
Yeah, like claymation.
Yeah, almost claymation.
Not clay, but that type of style.
I'm watching the trailer again, and it really does look like almost like a Souls-like game where you're fighting a boss, and it looks like it's straight out of Bloodborne, but with a cartoony aesthetic where there's like this like giant furry beast, and it swings at you under a full moon, and you do a sidestep, and it looks exactly like Bloodborne. I don't know, man.
It was Bloodborne. No, yeah, there were sections that looked like Bloodborne.
Yeah, I'm really excited for like seeing more about this. Like, I don't know if it's like open world or like level based, what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I saw a sign right there, the Schmeat sign. That is funny.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye.
I don't know, this juxtaposition between like this old man kind of walking around a village. He's like sleeping in bed and stuff. I don't know what the story is. I'm super intrigued. This is like one of the games where I definitely want to see more.
My take on it was like the old man was imagining everything else.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Or maybe he's like a writer or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then one other thing, I don't know if you noticed this, but some parts of it looked like Lego bricks.
No, I didn't.
Okay, like specifically his shield like has like the four little, how like Legos have those little dots on them? I don't know. I mean, it's not a Lego game, but I don't know. This game looks awesome, dude. I'm actually really excited to see more from this. Especially if it's like if the combat is kind of like Souls inspired, because I do want to see more Souls games that don't just try to do Neo where they kind of just give you the same thing but not as innovative.
Like pivot on it.
Yeah, I want to see the next evolution. I want to see, this was inspired by Bloodborne, but we're doing our own thing kind of. We're taking, pieces of it, but we have our own vision. I definitely want to see more for this. The release date is to be determined. We do not know. All right, up next, probably the game of the year for 2020. I can't imagine something unhorsing this powerhouse. NBA 2K21. What a shock. The absolute courage it takes for them to step up and say, you know, people liked NBA 20, but we're going to make another one, and we're going to release it the very next year. How brave. How brave.
I actually was kind of surprised. I didn't expect there to be any sports game. I mean, I guess 2K makes sense because EA is having their own event.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, yeah, it's probably good to get in bed with a publisher that big in terms of business.
Right.
I always am confused as to why they show these things at these events because I just can't imagine anybody watching it is unaware that these games are coming out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange to me, but sure.
Yeah,
I'll probably get
like,
at least one of these
right.
over the course of the generation. So
yeah, my thing is usually the first one of every generation is never going to be the best. So I don't think I'll be picking this one up because usually they're released like this will be on PS4 as well, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like
no,
so
yeah, for sure. Probably the next several.
Yeah, next few will be. So you don't really start to see that next gen bump for a while. But
I don't think you ever do with these games.
I mean, that's the real answer there is like, you know, other than the players, you basically have been playing the same game for 10 years. More or less.
I don't know about 10 years, but, you know, every 3 to 4 probably.
Yeah.
2 to 3.
No, yeah. I mean, you know, it's 2K. What are you going to do? Yeah, up next. This was another really weird one.
Yeah, what's weirder? This is the volcano one. I don't know.
I think this one's weirder, and it has the benefit of showing gameplay, I think, and showing just, or at least doing a better job of telling me what it's going to be. So this is Bug Snacks by Young Horses.
Just what a ridiculous sentence. That sounds like a Rick and Morty like bit.
Yeah, it does. It sounded like an interdimensional cable episode. Hey, get your Bug Snacks. Yeah, holiday 2020 release date
from the developers of Octodad. But this didn't look like it was like I mean, in some sense it's like a bit game, but it didn't look like it was a bit game in the way Octodad was, where it's like this is bad, haha. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like where you can't control it, and that's like the joke. It looked like it was not that, but it definitely seems to have a lot of humor, quote unquote, in it.
I could see like the whole thing. That one character comes in, he said like, I dropped the something, I don't even know. He dropped something with his weenie hands, because I think when you eat a food, like your part of your body changes into that. So he ate a hot dog, and so I could see some cool potential gameplay quirks coming from like what, like I don't know, what bug snacks you eat, I guess. How that would affect how you play. I don't know.
This is holiday 2020, so it might be the only thing we're playing on the PS5.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Bug Snacks and Spider-Man on a $500+ machine.
That's what you get for stepping up and being an early adopter, but well worth it. All right, up next.
Yeah, here's where we get into all the good shit.
This is
the next like 4.
This is what I've been waiting for a while. This has been rumored for a long time.
Yeah, it's like an open secret at this point.
Pretty much an open secret. We all expected to see it. The Demon's Souls remake, brought to you by Blue Point Games in collaboration with Studio Japan. And no release date.
So good.
No release date. Not really any gameplay. And the trailer itself was actually like a remake of or at least partially was a remake of the opening cinematic, or opening trailer, whatever, for the original Demon's Souls. Because I was just playing it a couple weeks ago, and I noticed like the dragon carrying the corpse that's like swinging below it. But dude, I can't wait. Like, just give me more Souls games. Just give them to me. Inject them into my veins.
It looked amazing. Like, far and away, graphically, the absolute best the Souls game has ever looked. And assuming that's in-engine.
Yeah, it's in-engine, but, like, I don't know. Like, you can, if you look at the Bloodborne trailer, the Bloodborne, like, cinematic opening that plays, the graphics in that look beautiful and amazing, too. And they look absolutely not a thing like the actual game. No complaints for me, but, like, the opening cinematics always look like way, way better, especially in these games, it seems.
So do you think the reason that some of these games didn't have a date at all is because they might come out launch, but they're not sure yet?
That's a good point.
Like, why? Because how in the world does that and Ratchet & Clank not even have a year? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if coronavirus has pushed things in a position where they might be able to make holiday, but maybe it's spring
That's
instead.
true. And
it's very bizarre.
No, that's a really good point. That like a lot of these don't have 2021, so they might still be 2020.
Because one of them has 2022.
Right. That makes me kind of concerned, though, just for the quality of these games. Like, I don't want them to be rushed. And obviously, they're going to feel like they're going to be rushed if they're trying to make it in this release window. Which is, that's always
they should take
one
their
of the
time. Like, there's going to be Cyberpunk, and there's going to be Last of Us and Avengers, and there's Call of Duty. There'll be all sorts of shit.
Yeah, they need sellers, though. They need some kind of incentive, or else they're going to have soft
Spider-Man's a better seller than anything at PS4
No,
launch.
I totally agree with you. That's usually a problem with launch games, though, is that they have to fit into the release window. I think that's why so many launch games are, something short of amazing. Is usually it seems like they were, had to come out with the console. But I don't know. I hope they don't mess this up. I'm gonna keep playing through the original one before this comes out. But not really much to say about it because we didn't see any straight up gameplay or anything. But I'm very excited. I wish we saw gameplay.
Blue Point's a very talented studio, and the groundwork is all there, so I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine they're going to rework too much of the gameplay or the combat itself, but, who knows? I think I would picture it being more like a Shadow of the Colossus, where they preserve most of the mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
And just give it a fresh coat of paint. But I don't know.
They changed some of the controls to Shadow of the Colossus, I think.
They changed the way it controlled with the controller itself, I think, but not the actual mechanics. But I don't know. I didn't play the original to have that.
I think it'll mostly be that type of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously very excited. Can't wait. All right, up next. This is another one of the most innovative and interesting looking games that we saw in the conference. It's Deathloop by Arcane Lion and Bethesda Softworks. Take it away.
Yeah, so this is the new game by Arcane, the developers of Dishonored, and it looks really cool. The whole premise is you're an assassin trying to get certain targets, and there's also an assassin trying to kill you, and you're in a time loop. And I trust Arcane's ability to come up with very clever ways to make this very fresh. First, it looks really aesthetically interesting. Mm-hmm. The style is really cool. But Dishonored, even though those are stealth games, and I'm not good at stealth games, as I've already said, specifically Dishonored 2 has extremely well-designed levels. So I think that they have shown a talent for great design thinking. And I think this premise in and of itself, belongs in a studio that really thinks of design in that way and really clever interlocking ways. So I'm very optimistic towards this. I don't think this had a date either, though.
Yeah. What a great logline, by the way.
Die again.
Well, that's really good, too.
That was hilarious.
But two assassins trapped in a time loop. But yeah, if at first you don't succeed, die again.
I laughed really hard.
It reminds me of Edge of Tomorrow, which was a really unique sci-fi blockbuster movie with Tom Cruise. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. But yeah, no release date. So maybe 2020, maybe 2021. Who knows? Yeah, like you said, beautiful aesthetic. Looked very cool. I liked everything they were going for here. I thought they did it. I thought this was one of the standouts of the show. All right, up next, Resident Evil 8 Village. It's called, which they really just had to call it that so they could fit the Roman numerals for 8 in there. Did that? But whatever works. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, this looks awesome. And for a split second, I was like, is this actually going to be Silent Hill? But then pretty quickly, I was like, all right, this is Resident Evil. It seems like all the all the rumors and leaks were right about there being werewolves and kind of like a more gothic setting. Looks awesome. Looks super weird. Mm-hmm. And I think Capcom's just been on a roll with these games, so I'm definitely day one buy from me. They said 2021. I'm assuming it would be early 2021, similar to the 7 release, which was January 2017. I would imagine this is January 2021, but
yeah.
It'll probably have PSVR support also.
Was RE2 Remake January as well, or was that February?
Yeah, no, that was also January.
Yeah, okay. And then RE3 was March. So, yeah, I'd say somewhere Q1 for sure. But yeah, looks really good. I still have to play RE7. I don't know if I'll play RE3, but I loved RE2.
3 is good. It's just kind of more of the same.
Yeah.
It's a little underwhelming, but 7 and 2 are amazing.
Yeah, 7 I definitely need to play. That might be on PS Now. I'm not sure.
It's like really, it's on sale all the time for like $10.
Yeah.
You should definitely play it. This looks like a much more polished version of that, and I already really liked 7, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. And also they have Chris Redfield came back at the end, which is an iconic Resident Evil character. So
right, that's Claire Redfield's brother, right?
Yeah,
from RE2.
Some cool lore stuff will be going on.
Yeah. No, that looks awesome. Up next, Pragmata, another Capcom game coming in 2022, which is interesting that we're seeing something that far out. What do you think of this?
Yeah, so this leaked before. I saw the name Pragmata and Capcom before.
Oh, okay.
2022 is really, I would imagine they are confident in whatever this is, that they wanted to secure the unveiling space for it, because I have no idea what this is. This didn't look to be any indication of any gameplay, and the fact that it's not coming out till 2022 means it's probably not even ready to show gameplay. But I would imagine that Capcom showed PlayStation something that they were confident in, and they wanted to kind of align themselves with it in the same way that they've had a pretty good relationship with Resident Evil branding since 7.
Can I just say that I am 100% sure that Hideo Kojima snuck into Capcom and Ghost made this game, because this has his style written all over it with the whole...
Yeah, I thought it was a Death Stranding thing for a second.
Dude, it totally looks like Death Stranding. Even like the way the character... even the way the girl is modeled, she looks like she's a character model from Death Stranding. And the way the trailer ends, they're on the moon looking at Earth. That's like a cutscene that plays at the beginning of Death Stranding as like Kojima's studio, like the Ludens astronaut thing. And like the tech, like the way the tech works, it all looked like Death Stranding to me. It's like bizarre. It's really interesting. I'm just shocked it's not a Kojima game. I don't know. Do you think he had anything to do with this? Because he did mention in an interview that he had another project that didn't work out or something like that. So do you think he was like brought into like as an early kind of, I don't know, visionary for it or something?
No, I don't think it was that similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like I don't think we'll even know what type of game it is for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that they put it on this back end.
Do you have a prediction?
Probably like a third-person action game.
I was thinking like the tools that this astronaut, whatever he is, that he uses are definitely going to play into it, but I don't know what exactly that would mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird to put it alongside some of these high-profile games at the end, though.
Yeah,
convinced they have faith in it.
The placement was a little odd, but maybe they just kind of wanted to space out the big ones. I'm not sure. And then let's get to the final game that was shown at this live stream, or actually not live stream, at this stream. Horizon Forbidden West, which, I don't know, I think we all knew there would be some kind of subtitle like this. I thought it was just very like cliche sounding, but so was Zero Dawn, so, whatever. Super exciting. It looks just like Horizon. We didn't see too much gameplay, maybe any gameplay, but it looks like you're going to be able to go underwater now. And they showed off a couple new robot dinosaur monsters, including a turtle that looked really, really cool.
And the Lord of the Rings war elephant.
Oh,
things.
yeah.
That
exactly.
awesome.
That looked exactly like Lord of the Rings. I'm just really hoping Horizon, the sequel to Horizon, can take it from... It was already an awesome game, don't get me wrong. But I want to see them go... I want to see an Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2 transformation. And I really hope they can do that. Because Uncharted 1 was cool and all, but Uncharted 2 was genre-defining. And I think they have that potential. I think there's a lot to this franchise. And I'm just very excited to see the gameplay and what innovations they have with this. Because I know the DualSense is going to definitely incorporate that adaptive triggers for the bowstring. So... I don't know. I'm a little sad we didn't see more of this, and it's kind of unfortunate that we don't know if it's a launch game yet. And I hope they don't rush it, because they didn't say 2021. So like
they didn't say 2021 for any of these though.
Well, Resident Evil 8
any of their games.
Oh yeah.
No, like Demon's Souls didn't have it. Astro didn't have it.
The only one of their
Planet.
games that had it was Spider-Man. That's the only one.
Which is so weird.
That is. Yeah. So that makes me. Everyone except Sony sounds concerned about this coming out, but they've reiterated numerous times that it's coming holiday 2020. So I really, really hope that these games aren't slowed down too much because of coronavirus. I really hope they can get it together. I would have preferred them delay the console if it meant that these games would suffer. So let's hope they're just confident that the games won't suffer.
Well, I mean, none of them are slated for launch, so
Right.
I think they're confident in Spider-Man. That's it.
Right.
And then any of the cross-gen games like Cyberpunk and Call of Duty and that type of stuff. NBA, Bugsnax.
Yeah, hopefully them not giving a release date year would
gonna give
indicate
them
that
an
they're
easy
willing
out.
to flex the
It has to, dude.
yeah.
It has to.
Because, like, I mean, it would look bad if they delayed launch games till later, but they haven't. It's not like that hasn't been done before. So
Because if you look at all the suite of first-party games that they've announced for this that don't have dates, there was no chance that all of them would have ever been slated for launch.
right.
So you're like, are any of them? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a strange question mark. That's what I meant in the beginning when I was talking about the messaging being really confusing. All the games shown for the most part look awesome, and it was a really well-paced presentation, well edited, great hype factor. I just want to know more, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I wish we saw more gameplay. I'm very excited for a Horizon sequel, and I want to see deeper RPG elements. It had very cursory dialogue selection that didn't actually have any impact on the gameplay, so I would like to see more in that for it to truly be what I would call an RPG. Not that it's not an RPG, but you know what I'm saying. I wanted to see more RPG, and yeah, I don't know. I'm still very excited, but we didn't get a whole lot other than the cinematic from it. But definitely going to be one of the most anticipated games now.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you think of the graphics? I thought it looked pretty similar to the previous one from what they showed.
The like Aloy did, but if you looked out on the landscapes, I think the landscapes looked much better. But I do think the main differences in performance are going to be not as noticeable to the eye as much as it is to the experience overall.
I really hope so.
It's going to be a lot of background stuff, like the way things load in, the speed you can move, how like even Ratchet and Clank, like it just looked so much smoother and faster than any of the other ones ever did, and it didn't necessarily look like a huge leap graphically. Like it looked really pretty, but I think the main improvements you're going to see are the world around you versus like the actual graphics.
Yeah, and I have a feeling with Ratchet and Clank, that whole dimensional transportation thing, those quick cuts through dimensions.
There's no way that could have happened on.
Right. I think that gameplay element was designed to show off the SSD because
100%.
That's how those can be achieved, is those quick loads into new game states. Which is
really
awesome.
is like a huge thing.
No,
Like,
definitely.
if you can actually do that, and that's not like a set piece, like you can just go from planet to planet that fast, that's insane.
Right. Not that we know how big the levels are or anything, but I'm definitely...
Even without it, like in any of the old games, you have to go to a ship, go to a menu. Even if they're levels, they're not worlds.
Right.
It's still a huge leap, I think.
No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think it's like, I don't care at all if we don't see graphics improve for this whole generation, and they just make sure every game is 60 frames per second, no load times, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd rather the design get better than the graphics.
Yeah, that's where the real gameplay experience happens. Like how many enemies you can have on screen, how complicated the AI can be, all that stuff. That's what's going to actually make it, a better experience in my mind than just being slightly higher resolution and all that. And then finally, we got a look at the console, which I wasn't really expecting because they seemed to come out and say that this was going to be games, and they tried to stress games. So it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see it at all.
So I'm pulling up a picture just to kind of look at it again. What did you think of it? What are your initial impressions?
I think it is very strange looking, and it surprised me for sure. But at the same time, seeing it next to the DualSense, I've already really come to like the way the DualSense looks when I remember it first coming out thinking it looked ridiculous. So I think it'll probably grow on me.
Yeah, I think
and
so
I have
too.
seen pictures of it on its side, and I don't think it looks as silly on the side. And I never have consoles standing up like that. But it is just like a very striking design, and I'd be interested to get a monochromatic skew if that ever happens versus like the white and black. Versus I would rather have just all black. I think
Yeah.
they're all gray or something, because I think it just makes it look like it sticks out, when I don't know if all people would really want like something under their TV being so
gaudy.
Like, yeah, it looks cool, but it's just kind of strange.
My first reaction was the John Mulaney bit. She's ugly, and it's like it's not really ugly, and I'm sure it'll grow on me, but it didn't have that initial dignified beauty that I thought the launch PS4 had, where it just looked really, really good. This doesn't immediately grab me and say like, oh, that's like amazing. It kind of looks like if you gave your average person on the internet, and you just gave them like, make a futuristic looking console where it's like everything in the thumbnail has to be catching your eye for those like YouTube videos of like, oh, fake PS5 reveal. It looks like one of those.
Yeah, I've seen better looking ones that were fake.
I've seen better looking mock-ups for sure that are more understated. Like you said, this is a thing that's going to be in everybody's living room under their TV. And most people don't like, in my mind, this like, ooh, look at this futuristic, like I don't know. I think it's something people think that people like, but in reality, I think simple, just like keep it simple, stupid. But obviously still, I think it's a very cool design. It looks like the V shape will be actually pretty useful for the heating, the way the fan is like fanned out a little bit. And it's really one of those things where I think it'll look a lot better when you see it in person too. Yeah, and you get your hands on it and you can actually see it, not in these like weird renders where
angles.
Yeah, it's an all white background and stuff. Like, I think it'll look a lot better in natural lighting.
There's also an all digital edition, which I think looks much better because it's not like puffed out for where the disc drive is. I don't think I'm gonna get that. I wonder how much cheaper that'll be.
I think it was designed for the digital edition. I think actually the disc drive looks horrible on this thing, and I have no idea why the disc drive is there. Why is it on the white part so that it's just this weird other streak coming in? Like, it almost is like a subconscious way to push you towards the digital. I'm looking at them side by side.
Thinking about that.
It looks ugly. It looks really, really ugly. It doesn't fit into the design at all. It's not at that same. It's like not parallel with the other black line running on it. It's like this weird. Everything else is rounded, and this is like just a sharp black edge. I don't know. I think the disc drive should have been inside that V shape, or at least should have, I don't know, matched the color better. I don't think I'm going to get a digital edition because
I'm not going to.
I still like I still like playing Blu-rays. I still like all that. But I don't know.
I would rather just have the option.
It's one of those things is once you don't have the option, you kind of start to miss it, but
even though I do see myself going digital more and more with each passing year, I feel like I really like the pre-ordering digitally and having it installed in advance and everything.
But I think this was a mistake. The way the disc drive kind of just is like, oh, here's this thing where it looks like they just crammed it in and like bulged out. It almost looks like a Photoshop where they took the the PS5 digital edition and used like the bulge like Photoshop tool.
To add it.
It literally looks stretched out and like. Yeah, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't look good at all. Like the digital edition is sleeker, much more unified in its design. I think that's definitely the winner here.
I think it's gonna grow on me overall, though.
Yeah,
both of them, especially when you see it in person.
I usually have trust that like these are professional designers who spent years on this thing, so they probably know.
There's definitely reasons for the shape in terms of heating and performance versus just like, does it look cool?
But yeah, and they did do the V. They did the V. It's much more understated than it was on the dev kit, but interesting nonetheless. Congrats to Nick. In our predictions, he predicted that there would be a V shape.
Yeah, what a bastard.
Yeah. Man, this is like... I mean, it stands out for sure. Initial impression. Xbox Series X or PS5, what do you think looks better? Not cooler, just like what looks better?
I think they're pretty equal because even though Xbox is the same color, I don't like the shape of it. Where it's like, I don't like the color of this, but I think the shape looks better.
Yeah.
Like, the Xbox looks like an air conditioner or something.
Yeah, I think it looks... I like the Xbox, but...
I don't like how it stands up like that.
Yeah.
You can put it on the side, which I'm definitely going to do.
I don't know if this would look very good on its side.
The PS4 or PS5? No, it does. There's pictures of it.
It looks good on the side?
I think it looks better.
Huh, interesting.
I also just don't like the way that consoles look standing up. I'd never had the Wii up that way. Or
I have mine standing up just for it like cools off better, I think, when you have
It probably does.
the longer side exposed to the
I
air.
just get
But
paranoid it'll tip over.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on the design yet, but it's interesting. It's not just like, oh, there's a, VCR player or something. It's not like the Xbox One or whatever where it's just a square.
Yeah, I do like the audacity of it.
Yeah,
They're really
there is some audacity
feeling
to
themselves with this.
it. Yeah.
Were there any notable things missing that you thought? Things that you immediately, games that you were immediately like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't show that. For me, Call of Duty. Very surprised that Call of Duty was not there. I was very much expecting the new Call of Duty to be revealed at this event. And I'm very surprised that it was not there.
I wonder if
that's got to be coming soon.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be a on their own announcement, or if Xbox snuck in there and took it.
Yeah, that'll be pretty wild if Xbox got it back.
Yeah.
That'll be a big win for them.
Although I don't know, I'm still reeling at this disk drive that looks just horrible on this thing. I think whoever designed it is mad that the disk drive is there, because it looks like someone designed it and then someone's like, okay, good, now I'm gonna put a disk drive in it, and they just put it in the least aesthetically pleasing way they could. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna get the digital edition.
You think?
I don't know. I mean,
it definitely looks worse, but
yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to, but at the same time, it's like I have all these Blu-rays and all these backwards compatible games that are discs.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
That'd be hilarious if they did it on purpose to get people to to not do it so that they couldn't use their PS4 games that were physical and they had to buy them all.
I would have to think that there's going to be a digital like disc buyback or trade the disc in for the.
It does look way better. I'm looking at it now. I don't know, man.
Dude, it does. It's not like I didn't even notice it until I'm looking at the still image of them side by side. It looks way, way better. It really is like kind of egregious that there's just like this. Maybe it only looks that way in the render and it's not as offensive, but like you have this perfect symmetry and this like perfect like V shape, like all culminating in this like very well measured out like proportioned console. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's like got that ratio. It's all looking nice. And then they just stuck it in there. They just jammed it in.
Yeah, the digital one already like looks way better. Even just looking at it,
right?
Like a couple more times, like sitting on it.
If they only showed
really cool looking, I think.
If they only showed the PS5 with the disc drive, I would say that's an ugly console. But seeing the digital one, I'm like, okay, I see the appeal here.
They did also, we should mention, announce like a suite of peripherals. There was a headset that looked pretty cool, a remote.
I'm a huge fan of the remote. They should have done this years ago, Brian, because oh yeah, they could have done this with the PS2. The way these controllers work, they're not great for watching Netflix or watching YouTube or whatever else you want to do. These have for a long time been the DVD, Blu-ray, streaming service player of most people. If you have one of these, this is probably the service you use to watch Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu. So I think it's a great idea to have a built-in remote because it is. Have you ever do you ever watch like a lot of shows on your PS4?
Yeah.
When you set the controller down, a lot of times the buttons will like move it or pause it or fast forward. I think this is a great idea. I'd imagine you can just pick up the remote and turn it on the same way you turn it on with a controller. So it's like, if you turn it on with that, maybe it'll zip straight to your shows, that kind of thing.
Do you think it's packed in?
Yeah, I think it'll.
Probably not, right?
I think it'll be packed in.
I don't think so. I think because it was a remote, a headset, a camera, and a charging station, and there's no way any of that other stuff is. If that headset's packed in, they're really balling out.
They're not packing the headset in because the DualSense has the I hope it's
the DualSense looks cool, man. The longer that it's been out, it really grew on me.
Dude, I think
the more colors they put out, the better it'll look.
Yeah, I can't wait for more colors. And also, they're not going to do it this way, but I'd love if there's just all black PS5 available at launch.
At launch, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want the white on black DualSense. It looks weird, but I think a lot of different color combinations could look very cool. But this will be the launch setup.
Wait, the original color scheme didn't grow on you at all?
Nah, I mean, it's fine. It's just a controller, but like I'd rather just have all one color. I think it's just weird. I think it's like too gaudy and too out there for something that should just be a simple tool. And like, yeah, I don't know because it's like we've got blue, we've got white, we've got black. Like how many colors do we need on a console? I would think only one. And another thing is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see about this disc buy-in thing because if there's a way to get your discs of backwards compatible games turned into digital games, I might go with a digital one because, it'll be a little bit cheaper. And I assume halfway through the generation, there's going to be a pro model that I'll want to upgrade to. So, if I start in with less of an investment, it might be better off in the long run.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then I'll be like
but
more.
I guess I could just get a Blu-ray player, but
well, I just have my PS4. I'm not throwing that out.
yeah.
I mean, even the PS3 plays Blu-rays now, so that's not a huge issue.
It'll be a decision. It'll be a decision I didn't expect.
We're gonna see the prices. We're gonna see the storage. That'll be a big thing, and we're gonna see how they handle the backwards compatibility. But if it's cheaper going into it, I'm definitely way more likely to get the Pro upgrade as soon as they release that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hopefully in different color schemes.
Easy.
But yeah, overall, what'd you think? Just overall impressions, good showcase?
Yeah, I look forward to seeing more. I kind of wish they just did one blowout with everything. I understand why they didn't.
This was more of one than I thought, honestly. It was with showing the consoles and everything. Like, I didn't expect
I didn't expect that.
So I'm actually pretty happy with that.
But yeah, we got to wait for, I'm assuming, I don't really know because I'm pretty sure the rumors are that there's going to be an August state of play.
Okay.
And I don't know if that'll just be price, or if they're going to do more games.
I could see gameplay.
I don't know.
For a lot of these games.
Or just gameplay of these games, more details.
And updated release dates for whichever ones can make that launch release date, probably. Yeah. And probably like a demo, like a more demo of like, here's the UI, here's what it looks like when you turn it on, and like, here's your menu, here's how it loads games in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do any of that, where you usually are picturing, some person on stage with the controller playing a game. We haven't seen that yet. So it'll look it'll be, of course, yeah. It'll look great to see all this in action.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm stoked. I want to see some actual photos, not like renders of this console. All right. So do you want to wrap it up? Do you have anything else?
No, I think we covered everything pretty thorough.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Summary.
And hey, one thing it looks like for the thumbnail for most of these streams of the future of gaming, that was the name of this stream. It looks like the DualSense in that photo is all black.
Yeah, I think it's just the lighting.
Do you think so? Okay. Yeah.
I noticed that too, and I thought it was weird.
Yeah, and even in that render, to me, it looks so much better with just like one color with the blue lights coming out of it. I don't know. Yeah,
the way it looks, it's already grown on me a lot, even just today.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. What matters is the games.
Yeah, that's way more important.
Right. All right. Well, I will talk to you next week. What else? What's our closing line?
I can't wait till holiday 2020 to play Bug Snacks.
All right. I'll see you later, Bri. Have a good week, everybody. Check us out on Twitter at Pseudo Ludo Cast or Instagram at Pseudo Ludo Pod. And yeah, message us. Let us know what you think of the games and the console design. We'd love to hear from you. All right. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.